Hello everyone and welcome to my balcony garden. Today I am taking this big chunky monkey, funny alien creature looking thing. This is a Crown Imperial variety Rubra bulb. I'm going to be planting it in this pot along with a few other spring bulbs. So let's get started. Crown Imperials are these absolutely fabulous spring flowering to late spring flowering bulbs. They put out one long stem from the center of their bulb. It can be up to 80 centimeters. At the base of this stem, there's this beautiful whorl of lanceolate leaves. At the top of the stem is where all the drama is going on. There is this beautiful umbel of these large fritillary sort of bell-shaped flowers. Above the flowers is this crown of bracts, and it's just drama. Crown Imperials make a really striking focal point in any bed or in a pot because of their height and because the flowers and also the combination of the bracts is just so unusual. So let's get planting. Here I have, actually it's a 20 centimeter deep terracotta pot with a hole at the bottom. When you're planting Crown Imperials into a pot, you can plant them around 15 to 20 centimeters. I had actually planned on using a deeper pot, but the pot that I wanted is currently stuck in another pot, two terracotta pots stuck together. I cannot get them apart, so this 20 centimeter one's gonna have to do me for today. It's still gonna work though, because what we need to do whenever we're planting bulbs, we need to plant them at this specific depth that they like to be in the soil or in the pot, and then leave some area at below the pot to allow for the roots to go down, expand, and to take up nutrients and water. So this pot is going to do the job. So I'm going to start by filling my pot with a really good multi-purpose compost. I've also mixed in some bio compost. You can also mix in some well-rotted manure or leaf mold or any kind of organic matter. The Crown Imperials really are heavy feeders, so if you mix it in now when you're sowing, you're going to provide a lovely food source for them in the early spring. I've also mixed in some grit. This helps with drainage. The aim when you're planting bulbs, you want the soil to be moisture retentive but also free draining, because if the bulbs are sitting in water at any point, they're probably going to rot. So I like this depth right now. I think it's probably going to be 15 centimeters here to the top of the soil. That's the depth that we want to plant our Crown Imperials at. I have my wonder stick for planting bulbs. I'm going to pop it in the bottom, 15 centimeters. Oh, actually, they're a bit too high, so I'm going to take some soil out. Let's try again. So I've got my stick again. 15 centimeters, bang on, right. So the really interesting thing with Crown Imperials is that they actually have a hollow part to their bulb. This is where the stem is going to emerge. This is the bottom here where the roots are also going to emerge. Some people plant their Crown Imperials on their sides. This is to apparently reduce the chance of rotting in here. I believe they do that more when the bulbs are actually dormant after flowering. So I'm just going to plant mine as I would plant any bulb. Roots, bottom, top, top. So I'm just popping it in. Now, obviously, I'm sure you haven't missed this, but there are already roots on this bulb. It is not ideal to plant your bulbs when the roots are already coming out, but this was in my house too long, or in my home, and the roots have started to emerge. I can't do anything about it. I don't want to cut the roots off. I'm just going to plant them, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Now you can see that I've got some extra space around here. I am going to be chucking in, I've got some narcissus actually, the minnow, which is a dwarf variety. I did a video on them, how to plant them in pots if you're interested. And my muscari. So I'm going to also be planting them at this level because these two bulbs also like to sit at 15 centimeters. So I'm going to just pop them in. Again, roots always at the bottom, pointy part to the top. Make sure that the bulbs aren't touching the sides of the pots and that there's always a little space between them. I want a really full display as ever, as I always say, so I'm packing in the bulbs. Oops, sorry love. Wow, this is going to be amazing. I'm excited already. So this is my first layer. I hadn't actually planned on doing a bulb lasagna, but apparently that's what's happening right now, so I'm just going to go with it. So I've got my Crown Imperial in the middle, then surrounded by the Narcissus minnow and also the muscari. I'm also, as I mentioned, I'm going to be planting crocuses, and they like to sit at 10 centimetres. So I'm just filling in some more soil, bringing up the soil level to around 10 centimetres from the top, and I'm going to plant my yellow crocuses there. So I'm just going to remove a bit of the soil so I can see where the crown imperial bulb is. I'm going to leave that free, although when there's a bulb lasagna, the bulbs are always going to, or the stems of the bulbs will always go around any obstacle. But I'm just going to leave that part free, just to make everything easier. And I'm going to put my crocus bulbs towards the sides of the pots because they are smaller, and I don't want them to be overshadowed by the taller bulbs. And that's the crocus layer done. So now I'm going to fill the rest of the pot up with the compost. So that is my impromptu bulb lasagna with crown imperial at the centre finished. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to give this pot a very big drink. I want enough water in this pot so that they actually reach the bulbs. Once the bulbs feel this moisture or the water, it's going to trigger them into putting down roots and establishing themselves. Over autumn and winter, when it comes to watering, I want the soil to remain moist but never saturated. So to be honest, in the Northern Hemisphere at least, autumn and winter weather sort of takes care of watering for me or for themselves. However, do keep an eye on your pots. If you notice that the soil is dry at any time, give it a little water. Equally, if you notice that the soil is kind of claggy or it's always moist or the pots are sitting maybe in a tray at the bottom, the water's always full, just pour the water away. We don't want the soil ever to be saturated or claggy or soggy. I'm going to pop my pot with my other bulbs on this part here. This is a nice sheltered, protected area on my balcony, but it does receive rain and a bit of wind. And once the foliage of the crown imperial starts to emerge, I want to put this in a really bright, sunny location where it's going to receive full sun. Crown imperials really do like a lot of heat. I'm going to be doing a care video on how to look after your crown imperials once they've started to emerge, and I will also be doing an aftercare video, so if you're interested in either of them, keep a lookout in the new year. Other than that, I hope you're all doing very well. I send you all my good wishes, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.